This is Reading Explained, where each week I explain to you what the readings mean that you hear at Mass on Sunday. This week is the 27th Sunday in Ordinary Time, and if your parish is currently following the Year A reading cycle, then the first reading that you'll hear is from the book of the prophet Isaiah. Now, I like this one because I think it's really clever of him. So what's happening here is that for the 2 or 3 chapters leading up to this excerpt that we'll hear on Sunday, Isaiah's been warning the Israelites in Judah and Jerusalem that Jerusalem's going to be destroyed. Now, he's aware of the fact that the general mindset back then was, no, it's not. God wouldn't let that happen. We'll be fine. No, we'll be good. And Isaiah knows, no, he is going to let this happen. And in fact, he does let it happen because the Babylonians come in, they in 3 waves take everybody hostage, they live in captivity for 70 years, and then they're able to return where they have to rebuild their destroyed city. And while they're rebuilding it, they have the opportunity to reestablish what their relationships are with God and reestablish them the correct way, the way that God originally intended when he created this covenant with them years before. So, the reason why that summary is important here is because Isaiah is trying to express to the people, God will allow this destruction to happen so it can be rebuilt later on. But how do you explain to them why God would allow destruction to happen? I think it's great what he does. He decides to do it in song, and not only in song, but with a story, with an analogy, almost a parable. So I'm not going to sing that song to you. I don't believe that he left behind any sheet music, so I wouldn't be sure how it went anyway. But he did leave behind the words. And what he expresses in this story, in this song, is that his friend decides to start a vineyard. And he finds the perfect, most fertile piece of land, and he gets the land all ready and plants the best possible vines so that they can grow the healthiest grapes. And then he gets his wine press ready, so when the grapes are ready, he can press them into delicious wine. And when it's time to harvest the grapes, he climbs up on top of his watchtower and he looks down, and they're not grapes. They're not his crop of grapes that he was hoping to achieve. Instead, they're these wild grapes. Now, when Isaiah says wild grapes, what he's talking about are bad, unusable grapes. They're rotten. They've gone bad. They're not edible, essentially. They may as well be weeds. So he says to the readers or to the listeners, what would you do? The guy did everything right to set up his vineyard, and now he, instead of getting the grapes that he was hoping for, he's left with these like weed grapes, essentially. So what is he to do? Well, what he's going to do is he's going to allow the wall to be torn down so that animals can come in and graze. They can trample all over the crops. He's going to command that the clouds don't even rain to water them and keep them alive. He's going to let all the weeds grow, and he's going to allow total destruction, maybe with the hopes that it could be rebuilt correctly. So he's obviously making an analogy to the people of Jerusalem and Judah and allowing the destruction of Jerusalem and Judah. Since you have that context now, here's what the actual reading says. A reading from the book of the prophet Isaiah. Let me now sing of my friend's song concerning his vineyard. My friend had a vineyard on a fertile hillside. He spaded it, cleared it of stones, and planted the choicest vines. Within it, he built a watchtower and hewed out a wine press. Then he looked for the crop of grapes, but what it yielded was wild grapes. Now, inhabitants of Jerusalem and people of Judah, judge between me and my vineyard. What more was there to do for my vineyard that I had not done? Why, when I looked for the crop of grapes, did it bring forth wild grapes? Now I will let you know what I mean to do with my vineyard. Take away its hedge, give it to grazing, break through its wall, let it be trampled. Yes, I will make it a ruin. It shall not be pruned or hoed, but overgrown with thorns and briars. I will command the clouds not to send rain upon it. The vineyard of the Lord of hosts is the house of Israel, and the people of Judah are his cherished plant. He looked for judgment, but see, bloodshed, for justice, but hark, the outcry. the word of the Lord. Hopefully that helps you better understand what it is that you'll hear at Mass on Sunday. If you found this video to be helpful, please share it with someone else who may also find it to be helpful. Don't forget to follow me, subscribe to my page, like the video, comment on it, and come back next week as we break down one of the readings from the 28th Sunday in Ordinary Time. I will see you then.